Hello, this is Dr. Young, and I'm going to go over your first week's assignments. So, whenever you start this class, and you probably already done this, but I'm just going over it for, to be thorough. You always go to start here, and this is going to give you the gist of the course, 7-week course. If you're new, time management might be an issue. So this is pretty, I think that this Sakai format is pretty thorough, the way they've set it up here. And so it's just, this part here is just an introductory. Basically, my responsibility is going to be grading your work within 1 week. Honestly, I'll be quicker than that. I've been teaching for about 10 years online, and I like to get my grading done as soon as possible. So, unless there's some kind of major scheduling thing that's going to get in my way and cause me to delay, if I get sick or something like that, maybe I'll take that week, but I doubt it, honestly. I don't want to give you, I'll have it the next day, but probably a few days, I'll have it back to you after it's due. I like to get it back quickly as possible so you can see, delayed feedback. I think that there's a, if it's too late, your mind's out of that. You've taken your mind out of that assignment. You've moved on, and I just feel like it's more effective if you can get it as soon as possible. The grade feedback. So I will do my best, and I apologize. My voice is a little raspy because I've had the flu and I have the colds and all that fun stuff this winter, and I'm ready for spring because this is getting old. But I apologize. I'm usually not so raspy. So I try to get it back quicker than this. So I think that and this is for this week's assignments mostly. There is a calendar we'll get to that has all of your deadlines, of course, and you've probably already looked at it, but we'll go over that in a moment. I monitor my course mail. Luckily for me, it's on my phone, which is a wonderful thing. I love it. So if you email me, I should get it wherever I'm at, and I can respond. So I'm going to try my best never to make you wait 24 hours or even on weekends. I work all the time. I mean, I don't work all the time, but I work on the weekends. I work as needed, kind of. So if you have a message for me on Saturday, send it to me. I'll probably get back with you quickly. I will do my best to get back with you quickly. Okay. And this gives you strategies for scanning deadlines. And this is going to come in your, you've got a calendar. It's very detailed. It'll tell you exactly what is due and when. And of course, if you have any issues that require accommodations, if you need any kind of accommodation, just note the information in the syllabus. So anyway, you should have Microsoft Office. This is the instructions on how to get that. If you don't, or OpenOffice or LibreOffice, anyone will do. And then you need a PDF reader, so you're going to need Acrobat Reader. That's about it for that. Now, you're going to go into the, this class is a path. You follow the path. That's the start here, and you just follow the path. It's pretty straightforward. So every week you'll have a module or lesson. It opens at Friday at 8 a.m. and it runs through 11 p.m. on Sunday, 9 days later. And the exception is week 7. It closes at 11 p.m. on Saturday. course ends on Saturday that week. Overall, ends on a Saturday. Of course, you need regular and computer with dependable internet access. If you don't have that, oh, and by the way, find a plan B, maybe a plan C for internet access, because that's not an excuse for work that's not completed or late. So make sure to get that in there. You know, this looks like many of you are living in living in West Virginia. I'm in Kentucky. I think our weather is probably similar. We get tornadoes, we get blizzards, we get ice storms, you know, everything. So I got a plan B, C, and D going on just in case. You know, and within a span of, I can't remember, it was 2009, it was in September, we had some kind of hurricane winds come through. There was a hurricane in Texas, and the winds were so strong, and they actually made it to Louisville, and it was like 60 to 70-mile-an-hour winds and knocked over trees, and my power was out for 5 days. Okay, that was September. Then in January, I had a baby, and we had an ice storm, and it knocked my power out for 5 days. And a week after, I brought a newborn home, and I was literally freaking out. So, I mean, that's not a very, it was October, November, December. That's a 4-month span of hurricane winds and then an ice storm. So, you know, it's crazy. I'm sure, you know, it's insane. So anyway, and I digressed from the topic, but it's just a funny story. It's just amazing what kind of weather we get. You should plan to log into your course 3 times a week, at least. Of course, you're expected to meet deadlines. I know things happen. But, you know, usually I'm going to ask for documentation. You know, it's always a balance for me as a teacher to keep things from policies from getting abused. And I've had some just some really, really difficult situations with students to have to deal with. Situations where, I mean, I've had everything. I've had a student try to complete a class between open heart surgeries. And, you know, he sent me all this documentation, and I was like, why are you even taking this class right now? But he passed, bless his heart. He did his best, and he made it. And then I've had domestic, you know, violence situations, and I've had a lot of just weird stuff in my tenure here, or not here, but overall teaching. So, you know, I know crazy things can happen, but please make sure to try your hardest to meet your deadlines. And, you know, make sure it's not a time management issue, because then it's going to get into, well, you know, you got to manage your time if you're going to take online classes. That's where I have to kind of balance and draw the line. Okay. Forum postings for each week should have your first or initial post. Okay, so Tuesday is your first post for the forum each week. So whatever the discussion question is, post your answer on Tuesday or by Tuesday night. And again, I'll get the times later, but your second post should be substantive and made by Friday. Of course, please don't use text peak or anything like that. Punctuation, spelling, grammar, all those things are being considered. They're not informal. They are written, graded. You know, they're graded just like an essay or anything else would be. Of course, these are the whole, you know, discussion board etiquette. And, you know, just be civil. I don't care. Debate's great. Just be respectful. There's lots of different views. We can all express ourselves without attacking others or anything like that. I know this is common sense. This is not something I even really have to deal with very often. Very rarely are there issues. It says here the text editor window will time out after 59 minutes. So make sure that if you find that you're having trouble keeping that time limit, just work on it on your Microsoft or your Word processor, and then you can paste it, copy and paste it when you're ready. Save a work. Always save your work. Don't ever just keep saving it, and make sure that you might want to print a hard copy of your assignments or sent through email or uploaded. Make sure you get a confirmation message when you complete a quiz. Anything that you write or try to submit, if you're taking a screenshot might be effective if they're, with a time stamp on it, or just really all I do when I post is I post something, I submit it, I log out, I'll log back in and see if it went through, just to make sure. That's always a good practice. Keep your antivirus software up to date. Yeah, that's just maintaining your computer. Okay, so here's our outline, and you could print this out. I even printed it out myself. So you got and it really is specific as to, okay, this is due on so your initial post is due Tuesday, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, your response is due. And, wait a minute, is that right? Just make sure how many response. I think I might have even forgot. Let me just make sure I have that right, because I'm not sure. All right, I'm sorry. Because I think how many responses you're supposed to have. Because it's not going to Sunday. Some classes have, I'm sorry, let me just make sure to clarify this, because some of them are 2 responses and some are 3. All right, I'm just going to go on to the forum real quick here, because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Yeah, okay. So now I'll end up coming back to this, but initial post, discussion on forum. I'm calling it discussion. It's forum posts. It's the same thing, but I should probably refer to it as forum. Forum post, Tuesday. And answer the question, Tuesday at 11 p.m. Respond to at least 2 posts by other students by Friday at 11 p.m. Follow-up replies to instructor comments or responses by Sunday at 11 p.m. Quiz by Sunday 11 p.m. Written assignment Sunday at 11 p.m. So you actually have to respond to. So you do follow-up replies to instructor comments or the responses by Sunday, and then so that's 2. You're responding to 2 posts by other students plus follow-up replies. Now, luckily, this class isn't really big. I have classes, believe it or not, with I have classes with 38 students in some other courses. So imagine responding to every single thing in that course. But this one is not as much. So let's go back to the. I'm going to go back to the outline. Okay, so here is like I said, your due dates and times. You can just print that out. Your introductory activity is basically just the intro. We've post your introduction. Respond to other students. Return to the forum in 24 hours. Read the postings made by your classmates and respond to 2 postings. So for this, you do 2 postings, and that is all. I mean, response postings. So you have your initial post with your introduction, and then 2 responses. Okay, I don't know. This is it goes back under that. And then your there we go. Sorry. I'm still getting used to this myself. It's and the schedule's actually right there if you ever want to, for your review. Now, the FAQs is if you have a question that is course related only. You can post a question on there for your classmates. Let's just go in there. General questions, look for answers or provide responses to questions posted by others. So this is for you all as a class, for you to, kind of talk about course related material. And then the coffee shop is for discussions that are not course specific, more social. So it's a place for you to be, social with your classmates if you want to, talk to somebody and, I don't know, about something not course related. I don't know. You can talk about, any kind of hobbies you might have or interests. That'd be great. I just make sure it stays appropriate. But again, I usually never have any problem with that. But I have to say it because when I don't, I will. So anyway, but that's a place for you to gather if you would like to talk about certain current events or things of interest to you. Hobbies, activities, travel, whatever. So, Module 1. Each module will have your learning outcomes, what we hope that you come out of, what the knowledge that you'll come out of Module 1 with, are listed right here. Excuse me, sorry. I have a little bit, I might cough a little, I apologize. Like I just did. So for the reading, and this here, I just want to say, I had a question about it. It says, now that you provided your definition of human resource management, I don't see where you did that or where it was asked for you to do that. So you just ignore that. It's just going to give you the definition of it. So just go ahead and, because I don't really see where it says create your own. If you see it, let me know. I might have missed it. Anyway, so you're reading these and you're going to click on each link. And each link, it says here, everything you need to read is directly linked to the module. So you click on here and you read that article. Don't go to any sublinks on the page. There's nothing else you need to click on here. It's just this that you need to read, for example. There's nothing, you don't have to follow any other links or anything like that. So I just want to make you aware of that. And you're going to read each of these articles. This one is specific. You read pages 2 to 7. View the videos, evolution of HRM, discover the power of, and this is talking about Society of Human Resource Management membership, which I am a member as well, and it does have a great deal of material, valuable material. And then here is one of their sponsored videos that talks about how to get a job in HR. I'm going to read that or review those. Then you're going to review the Society of Human Resource Management certification criteria. And then this learning test, about this learning, assurance of learning test option. It is a kind of a bridge between you want to earn a certificate, but you don't necessarily have the criteria to do it, or qualifications yet. It is kind of a middle ground. So you might want to consider taking that. And then it just talks about what the value of that certification is. Many employers are going to that. There's many different types. There's several levels. They've added an entry level too, an associate certification. But it is one of those things that is becoming more prevalent in hiring decisions when it comes to HR. So it's something you might want to consider looking into if you have if you have the experience, but if you don't, it's something you're going to want to do or try to do maybe when you get into the position. I'll be honest, I used to work, when I was working at GE, I worked for General Electric for 9 years, and I was more in training and development, and they didn't really need it then, or they didn't really ask for it, and it did exist, but it just wasn't as prevalent as it is now. If I was going to go back into that environment, I would definitely get certified. As a matter of fact, I've been teaching HR since 2010, so I'm going to go and sit for my, because I have a master's in it, but I'm going to sit for the senior exam because I have the teaching experience to qualify. So I'll be doing that in the next year, hopefully sooner. Okay, so you're going to read about job analysis, and you're going to also talk about, and you're going to read about O-Net, which is it has a lot of resources for finding information about job analysis and writing a description. It really gives you a lot of salary data. It's pretty detailed. It's gotten more detailed over the years, so you might want to take a look at that. Well, I would take a look at that, obviously. And then how to develop a job description. So these resources will help you as far as finding out what is a job analysis, what is it done, when is it done, why is it done, how is it done, and what are the methods used to do it, things like that. So your quiz is here, and it doesn't look like it's. You have 2 attempts, 30-minute time limit, and 2 attempts. So they will take the best score, obviously. And then your forum, let's see, is this, hopefully it will give you the link here. Is it on here? There's your rubric. I wanted to show you that. This is what I'm grading you on. So and this is the same no matter what discussion question, or forum discussion question that is posted. So, I'm looking for posts that are well developed and addresses all aspects of the task. Follow-up postings elaborates on existing posting with further comment or observation. Looking for factually correct, reflective, and substantive contribution, and it makes sure that, don't post good job or I like your post, and then just, you may ask additional questions is always a good way to advance the discussion. That's a good idea. Kind of a general format, maybe provide feedback about someone's post, maybe make your own point, and then maybe post a follow-up question to go ahead and continue that discussion. That's what I'm looking for in that kind of format. Make sure that you're using references or personal experience, but a mix. Don't always use personal experience. Don't always use research. I'm not looking for both in every post, but I'm looking for one or the other. I would mix it up throughout the term. And then writing. Make sure your writing is clear, the grammar is correct, spelling, capitalization, punctuation use, like commas. I don't know. That's the biggest thing I know. The biggest thing I see is that, and I know that's not probably a big deal, but just be more. I mean, a typo or two. I'm not going to take a whole. I'm not going to call your post acceptable if there's a typo or two. I'm going to call it target. But if there's a lot of sloppy mistakes, I'm going to take off for it. So that's all. I just wanted to go over that. And then let me just go back to... wait a minute. I don't know what I'm there. Sorry. That's where I wanted to be. I'm all messed up. Okay. So after your when you're going to basically post a response to this, and you're going to take a position. Do you agree? Do you think that it's justified that we hate HR? I mean, you know, or do you think that they get too, you know, they're given to, you know, people give them a hard time? Is there, kind of what's your, it's really what your opinion of them is. I mean, do you feel like they're more supportive of the organization, or are they supportive of employees, or, you know, kind of take a position and support it with some valid arguments? That's all you're doing right here. I would recommend using supporting research to either support or refute this title, you know, and tell me why you feel the way you do. So, you know, personal experience, if you have it, absolutely use it. Professional experience is very valuable. I'd like to hear about it. If you want to use an example, I highly encourage it. I also encourage use of supporting sources as well. So post that Tuesday at 11 p.m., which that's the deadline for your initial post. Then read other student posts and respond to at least 2 other students. That is due on Friday, 11 p.m. And then return and read the comments posted by me. I will post to everyone something. And then if it's, if I, you know, I might debate your observation, or I might add to it, or just, you know, share an experience or share research on it. So, you know, that's just any response to that would be due Sunday at 11 p.m. There's a lot of posting each week, a lot of back and forth. So just make sure that you keep up with the post now. So really, it's. I know somebody's going to ask me, well, how many total posts do I need? 3. I mean, responses. 3. Total post would be 4, including your answer. So 3. Written assignment 1. Okay, so in this one, you have to consider a new position that would benefit your organization. So this goes back to the whole job analysis thing. A job analysis is a lot of times it's, okay, look, here's a job. It hasn't been reviewed in 10 years. It's a lot different now. We need to do a job analysis on it, and we need to revise the salary on it. Or, hey, let's start this new organization. What kind of things do we need to have done? What duties need to be done? What do we need our employees to do? Hey, let's do a job analysis and break these up into jobs and then assign a salary to them. So, I mean, you do a job analysis, then the job description, then you have to assign a salary to them. So, you know. But you see where I'm going here. I'm just kind of throwing that out there quickly. But there's more to it than just that. But it's, in this situation, you have an organization now. Look around you. What are some things that might not be getting done that need to get done? What are some skills that you might need to use in your organization that aren't that aren't there? So think through that, and then come up with a new position that would benefit your organization. And if you're not working, you can think of one that you've worked for in the past. That's fine too. Now you have to perform that job analysis for that position. And then write a job description for that position. So there's a template attached to the assignment Dropbox. You're going to use that. And then just make sure that you're completing each stage of the template, because it's your submission. So you're going to submit that document filled out. Don't restate, question, or copy-paste information from course readings or other sources. You never use any information from the course. You never, or another source, like taking someone's text. You have to cite it, and you have to quote it if you're using exact words, but I highly discourage that. What I see a lot of the time, here's the thing that I see a lot is I'll have students who will copy text from a source and put it in their papers and then cite it, with a reference list and an in-text citation and everything, and think it's okay. It's not okay, because you cannot use exact words without quoting it. And you can't quote large passages of material, because then you're not writing your own material. Quotes should only be used sparingly. Any information that you want to use from sources must be paraphrased in your own words. And that's truly how you avoid plagiarism. So make sure to do that. Your responses should be well-developed paragraphs with a length of about 3 pages. An APA format is always expected in this class. It even tells you how to save it. And here is the rubric. And it will go through Turnitin grade marks, so it will be looked for, there will be searched for, copying or pasting or anything like that. So just make sure to avoid that. And I have to say that. You probably already know that, but I have to say that because it's required. And I see here that it says not visible to students. I think that there's some link issues, so I'm going to address that today. We've had some issues with the course. I'm sorry, but we will get it figured out. I'm going to keep communicating with you on that. Okay, so for your rubric here, I'm looking for this target here, 2 points for each area. And you're being graded on APA format, style, grammar and mechanics, development, level of content, and organization. Okay, so I'm looking for substance. I just want to, I want to make sure that you're using evidence, supporting sources for this. Mostly I'm looking for critical thinking, kind of if you come up with a position, like I want to see the process of, yes, we need this position. Here's why we need it. And here's how I can analyze the job, do a job analysis to figure out what this person will do on a daily basis. What will their tasks be? And then create a job description. And then that's the whole process I'm looking for. Don't just regurgitate readings or anything like that. I want you to you have to, and this is very subjective, I realize, but you have to demonstrate you understand what the analysis is, what it does, what its purpose is, and what information it uncovers for you. And what methods would you use? And the methods that you choose need to make sense for the job that you chose, for the needed position. What do I mean by that? For example, let's see. If I'm going to be a financial analyst, and I'm looking at finance, or an accountant, it doesn't matter. It's not going to do you any good to watch me sitting at a computer. You need to look at what I'm typing. It's not going to let you, you're going to need to actually see what, you'll need to see what I'm doing. You can't just watch me, for example, or you can't just interview me. You could ask me some questions, but maybe you need to see, somebody would need to share my screen. You need to screen share and see if the person's typing and what they're actually doing on the computer, for example. There are certain way, if you're working in a manufacturing facility and you are on an assembly line and you have one task and you're doing that task over and over and over again, someone watching me and just watching what I'm doing, like watching what physical activity I'm doing, would be useful. You could time that person. You could see what movements they're making. You can see how long, it takes them to do it. You could see what tools they need. So a visual observation of that person would be effective. So those are just some examples. So just make sure that the method fits the job. For example, when I was a customer service rep once, and I would have my calls measured per hour, and I'd have my quality measured by them calling my customers. But then they decided, we're going to have an email site, so now you're going to be working on the emails that come in through the website. So that's what I started doing. And once I started doing that, I had to be measured completely different. They had to see what I was doing on the computer. They could, measuring my voice was irrelevant at that point. So that's just some examples. I'm giving you some to think through. It can be completely different from what you're going to do, but just make sure these methods match. Okay, that completes the module. I'm not going to go into 2 yet. I'll do that on another video, which I just went over there anyway, but just making sure I didn't miss anything. All right, that's it. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know, and I'll be happy to assist you. You can email me again. I have my phone with me, and if you're having trouble getting into any of the forums, quizzes, or whatever, just let me know. I know this has been kind of a problem, so I'm trying to get it fixed still. We did get the welcome forum fixed, but I think there's still some issues, so just let me know. And thank you for listening, and have a great week.